Hi, I'm Deb from Deb's Design. If you've watched my channel before, you know that my goal in having this channel is to share my passion of making my home my happy place, and I want to give you the inspiration to do the same. And today, as I was thinking about that, what can I say or do to help you at this time of year to make your home your happy place? And I thought of when I was a child, how much the family traditions of Christmas played such a big role in my life. Christmas Eve, without a doubt, was my favorite day or evening of the entire year. It wasn't my birthday or some party or anything. It was Christmas Eve at home in an old farmhouse with my mom and dad and my brothers and sisters. I'm number 9 of 11 children, and Christmas Eve meant some of my older siblings would come home with their children. And I would get to hear stories I'd never heard about my brothers and sisters and the times that they shared. And I would get a feeling of what it was like to be an aunt, because my older brothers and sisters lived away, part of them. But our Christmas was very simple, and yet that became my favorite time in my life, was Christmas Eve. And long before, or a few days or weeks, whatever, before Christmas Eve, the tree would come in from the woods, and my dad would go out. We had 11 acres that were around our farm there, our home. My dad would come in. Well, we lived on like I said, 11 acres. And after, either on a Saturday or late in the day after a long day's work, my dad would go out in the woods and find a tree. He would always come in with one of those slender little cedar trees, because it didn't take up much room or whatever. And I always wanted a pine tree. So later, when I got a little older, I would go out in the woods and find one with my boyfriend, and we would get it set up before Daddy had a chance to get his cedar tree. But regardless of which tree it was, we would put old lights on it, the big ones that if one burned out, they all went out, and multicolored, and then some old decorations that had been there for years, and maybe some new things that we had made out of paper. But it was very simple. But the best part was we would have a special, what we called a home evening, and we would gather in the front room. There'd be a fire in the fireplace, there'd be candles lit, and we would read from Luke in the Bible, the Christmas story. Then we would, maybe before or after, we would sing Christmas carols and just feel strong as a family. It built, I think traditions build strength. Whenever you do the same thing every year, sometimes it might be old, like, oh goodness, are we going to do that again? But I think over the years, it really adds strength to the family, and the children especially know what to expect and learn to look forward to those same happenings year after year. If you haven't already set traditions in your family, let this year be the first year that you do some specific reading or dessert or something that will set a tradition that you want to repeat every year, and see if it doesn't help your family grow closer together. But whenever I was a child, what we would do is we would have this reading and sing songs, and then we would open one gift or maybe a couple from each other. Santa came that night, so the next morning we would get our present from Santa, but Christmas Eve we would get to open presents that were from each other or someone who was visiting that night. Then we would have ham and biscuits always, and most yummy desserts. My mom would be baking the whole week before to have lots of yummy pies and cakes. And it was just a special time because although it was a very simple evening, it was for us just better than any other day of the year. So think about what you can do, even if it's a simple craft with your children on Christmas Eve, or anything that they enjoy doing that you can repeat year after year that will help them realize the happy times that they can have in your home. Each of the little traditions that we do, regardless if it's Christmas Eve or when, helps bring our family together, and it can do the same for you. And you will feel that happiness in your home so that your home can be your happy place. And what better time than Christmas to create that happy place? So whether it's maybe making gingerbread houses, making gifts, wrapping gifts, all of that can be tradition in the way you do it, and just including your family as you take part of the different activities. I was trying to think of some other things that we didn't play a lot of games. Well, we did, but not on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve was more about reminiscing about earlier Christmases perhaps, and spending time with family and having great food. But it was always my favorite time. And as I grew up and got married, I never got to go back home for Christmas Eve. I left home in North Carolina when I was 20, and I never realized that the last Christmas I spent there, I must have been 19, was my last Christmas at home, because I moved away, had my own family, and it just never worked out that we would be home again for Christmas. So I hope that you can look at this Christmas as a very special time in your life, whether it's unique for this year or something that's going to be repeated for years to come. But it's just one more way. Traditions are one of the best ways to make your home your happy place for you and your family. Merry Christmas.